Hi there, my name is Anthony Potter, and today I'm going to be showing you around my Mk3 Golf VR6 registered in 1992. And you're probably thinking, wait, hold a second, why go through this much effort to just sell a car? And I don't think photos and a description written on my notes and then screenshot and put on Facebook Marketplace is anywhere near the level of advertising I want to do for essentially my pride and joy. I've never had a project car before. I've had lots of fun through it. It has cost me a lot of money as well. And I want you to understand exactly how much car you're getting for your money. So let's have a look. It was registered in 1992. As you can see, it's on a J-Reg. You actually find some Mark IIs on a J-Reg as well. So they are pretty rare. I think it was the first registration year that they did the VR6. Now, just before we dive into this full video, if you're looking for something that is cosmetically immaculate, this is not the car. It is in great shape. It's very solid, but the amount of money I've spent on this car just to get it running mechanically sound, looking the part and driving the part, that is where you're getting your value for money on this car. And to be honest, I say the cosmetic condition's bad, but it's really, really not. And as we go around the car, you'll start to see what little things need to be done, but also the amount of effort that's gone into the car to get it to this point where it is now. Now, this is why I wanted to make my VR6 exactly the way you see it is today. So this is a 2.8 litre Mk3 VR6 Golf. It is the ODB1. And for those of you who aren't Volkswagen literate, ODB1 basically means this was the first generation of the Mk3 before they facelifted it into ODB2, which I think was around 1995, 1996, around that time. So what that means making it an ODB1 is you get all of these plastic trims around the wheel arches, and they're pronounced on the front and the rear. The ODB2s, they do not have that. Also, the ODB2s came with electronic ignition, where this is still running on a rotor and dizzy cap underneath. Now, that has also been replaced. My aim with this Mk3 Golf VR6 was to really bring to life what the modern day Golf R is, and essentially more or less where it started. I mean, some of you may question that. You may think the R32 on the Mark IV was the official Golf R, and I think VW also think that as well, because that's when they made it four-wheel drive. However, the VR6 first put its label on this little Golf here. Now, a lot of people did think that this Golf was considered the kind of unloved Golf out of anything. However, I think it's aged pretty well, in my opinion, and it still turns heads, and you don't really find many three-door manual ones on the road anymore, which makes this really, really special. Now, what made it even more special is all the little details that I wanted to put on it. Now, being the Mark III, and like I said, trying to be a bit of a retro kind of rendition to the Golf R that we have today, I did make some modifications to make this something a little bit more special. Throughout this video, I'll go through the modifications, talking about everything that I've done to make it as special as it is, and obviously, hopefully, make you guys want to buy it as well. First up, from the front, you'll see that I've just put these little kind of protectors. I mean, they're almost little shields, gaiters that go over the lights at the front. Now, for anyone that's had a Mark III, they are notorious for getting stone chips and smashing because they are just glass. So they cover the reflector on the front and the front fog light. And I also got the headlights just cleared up a little bit, keeping them looking a little bit more shiny. Replaced the VW logos front and rear to make the chrome look a lot more fresh. And it just gives it a nice face, but keeps it protected from the front. Now, the wheels. Now, these are genuine BBS wheels. The guy I bought them from had them on a Mark III VR6 before. His was in Dragon Green. I've put some Hankook Ventus Prime 4s on it, front and rear. They're still really healthy. Tyres are really, really good. You're probably looking at about 6mm worth of tread on them, but the car hasn't even done that many miles since I bought it. Other features I wanted to add to bring it to that modern day Golf R feel is just by getting the calipers painted blue. As well as changing the wheels and painting the calipers blue, you've got braided brake lines front and rear, so you might just be able to see it just through the gap in the wheel there. You can see the top of the braided line, and it's sat on coilovers, which are Stance Plus coilovers, and they are street driving coilovers as well. So they're not ridiculously hard, but that has been paired up with also polybushing the entire car. General run round of details. So polybush top mounts front and rear on the suspension. It's also got a polybushed rear bar, polybushed lower arms at the front with brand new lower arms, new drive shaft. And the reason I go on about the polybush is it was quite good actually. Just after COVID, Powerflex, they weren't selling many polybushes at the time. I called them up and said, hey, you got any polybushes for this? They went, yeah, we got a whole kit. We'll do you 20% off because we need business to pick up. And I was like, what a touch. Another minor tweak that I made was changing the interior. So it's got a full leather rear bench, and also you can see here the front has been reupholstered with the blue tartan that you get on the Mk3 Golf GTEs. But I liked that kind of retro feel with the blue striping to match the colour of the car, but also match the colour of the brake calipers. They reupholstered it in DK Schweizer up in Essex. They've done a really, really good job, and you'll see that I've put a gator on the steering wheel with a new OMP racing steering wheel as well. I got that second hand from someone who just built a race car. They took their race car around the track once and realised leather wasn't that grippy for their racing gloves. So that is a genuine OMP steering wheel. Now, I'm quite tall. I'm 6'2". So I needed the dished steering wheel and the little gator to bring the steering wheel closer to me. Being an ODB1, they don't come with airbags in the steering wheel. That was added later on the ODB2. But even on the interior, I've managed to keep it clean. Some of the speakers weren't connected and weren't even upgraded properly. And you'll see that I've changed the speakers in the door to Phoenix Gold, and then put the mesh over them to keep them protected from being kicked when you're getting in and out of the car. Mileage at this point in the video being taken is 157,938 miles. Now, like I said, I bought this with 155,000. I think it was 155 and a half. And yeah, I haven't really done much in the last 5 years. Another great addition that I've made is this stereo. Now, this is a Blaupunkt SN200 DAB BT. So you can read it on the screen there. It's a retro styled stereo, but it has Bluetooth connectivity, can make phone calls. It's got USB there, got obviously your phone jack for any music, but it's Bluetooth and DAB. Now, the DAB aerial I ended up putting just up in the windscreen up here. It's only very small, but it can be moved to wherever you like. They recommended you put it on the windscreen for the best signal possible. But this was bought from, I think it was NES or something like that. They're based in Nottingham, and they do retro styled stereos for, well, retro styled but modern technology, and then they go on the older cars. Moving down to your fans. With the fans here, they are working. They will blow out air, but it won't be hot air. Under the bonnet, you'll find that the heater matrix has been bypassed, because notoriously on these Mark IIIs, the heater matrices are not the best and they do leak inside the vehicle. So the previous owner had already made the bypass, and I only drive this car when the sun comes out anyway, so it doesn't really make a difference to my life. However, a heater matrix itself is about £30, but the labour of ripping out the dashboard, not really worth it. I also replaced the gear selector gator with this blue stitching, and you'll see that the carpet mats that I've put into the car also have that blue piping as well, keeping that Golf R essence and matching the colour of the exterior. I also managed to pick up a nice stainless steel golf ball style gear shifter, just the knob there. It's all nice and accurate, and this is just how it came. I think these were something you could pick up for Golfs way back in the day. It came looking like this, pretty aged and worn, but it just suits the car so well, just adding a bit of a classier touch. Moving over to the doors, electric windows in the front, and you have also got electronically adjustable wing mirrors. Now, with a car of this age, they are adjustable and they work when they want to work. Now, if you want au fait with Volkswagen lights, they're very easy to use. You just twist it, they're your side lights, main beam, and then you pull this out for your fog lights front and rear, all of which are working. Bulbs have been replaced over the years, and it's always passed an MOT, so nothing's been a problem there, not through my possession anyway. As for indicators and wipers, they're all exactly the same. The kind of release when you're turning the steering wheel doesn't always work in the right way on the indicators. I think that's probably down to the fact that I've changed the steering wheel, but horn works successfully. Means that I've actually done something right when fitting this myself, but a lot of the work that has been done to the car has been all done through a main dealer VW, which is actually where I work. Now what you've all been waiting for, the engine bay. I've changed a lot under here, just trying to get things ticking over nicely. It did do a little bit of a funny thing for some time that we've been trying to fix, but I'm pretty sure we're finally there now in terms of driving. So replaced all the sensors, as you can see, changed the HT leads, got a brand new battery and battery terminals. Something that was a right bitch is this thing here. This is actually the fan relay. The previous owner didn't have a fuse under here. They just wrapped a wire around it. And I was like, hold on a second, why is my battery running low? And it's because the fan was just constantly on. Now we've changed the dizzy cap and the rotor arm. That's all brand new. And also fresh spark going to it from there as well. The windscreen washer pump died, so we've got a new one in there. That's all been fitted recently. And also you've got Polybust top mount. You can't really see it in there unfortunately, but that is Powerflex as well. That's on the front engine mount, and the two rear engine mounts have been replaced also. As we come over, it's got a Ram air intake with a brand new MAF as well. That MAF is something that is really important to note, because sometimes the signals and all the information gets sent to the ECU wrong, and that was something that was impacting the rough running and the dodgy idle that we were having. Something that goes with the dodgy idle is the idle control valve and also the throttle position sensor. That's all been changed as well. You've got a new catch can just down here, that's been changed. Everything that can send signals to the ECU to affect the way the car is running has been changed and improved to make everything a lot smoother. Other recent improvements are a brand new starter motor. Also, lowering the car came with its own complications, because the load compensator needed changing and all of the brake lines going into it were buggered and corroded, so that was replaced nice and easily. It is under there somewhere, just trust me. Other additions are the VR6 sticker with stripes. We all know that adds an extra 5 brake horsepower, so it had to be done. In the boot of my VR6, it's all lovely and clean. Parcel shelf doesn't have any holes cut into it, which I know is an ongoing thing, people cutting holes into it for their 6x9s. You can keep your fuel can, because of course it only runs on premium, so please don't put any of that E10 crap through it, because on these older cars it can cause some issues. Underneath, spare wheel, space saver spare wheel, and all the original tools are all there. And originally they didn't even come with locking wheel nuts, but I bought a set for it, and the locking wheel nut is in the glove box. Looking at the back of the VR6, I've got a replacement exhaust system. It's a custom stainless steel exhaust system going up to the cat. It's not all the way up to the block. We've changed the VW logo on the rear again, some new chrome logos, and also there's been some slight adjustments on the actual badges on the vehicle too. Now, cosmetically, it does need a little bit of love. Nothing too serious though. I mean, often on these wings, you get a little bit of rust just down in the bottom down here. Again, you can get one of them from VW Heritage, get it painted, and jobs are good. And let's do a condition report. I'm going to go around the car for you so you don't have to. I'm going to save you the trouble of driving all the way, looking around a car, and then trying to haggle me down on price. I'm going to go show you the whole condition of the vehicle, because the driving is where you'll get the most fun out of this. And even just looking at it from afar, it's absolutely fine. The condition is great. So let's start from the front. Now, from the front, you're going to get chips. The car's been lowered. You're going to get road chips and chippings on the grille here and things like that. And also on the bonnet, since I've had it, it's had this gash. realistically, the car needs a respray or a slow, gradual respray over time if you know someone that is good with the paint gun. There's a little bit of cracking just down here on the front bumper, but again, stand further back, the car looks great. All the panels are nice and straight. Now there is a little bit of grazing here from where someone was not as polite to me. And as we look down the passenger side, it's a lovely, nice, clean door. Moving up, no flaking on the paintwork, and the roof is lovely and clean. Sunroof, that is the original glass, but I did replace the seal. The car will come with a whole new sunroof mechanism that I've purchased, but I just haven't replaced yet. Working our way down the passenger side. Passenger side's all looking lovely. Quarter panel, lovely and clean as well. And these plastics, they get kind of scuffed up a little bit due to just time and age. But again, they are things that you can spruce up, get them redone, or get some replacements. Now, notoriously, these seals down the bottom of the doors, they are very, very hard to get. Believe it or not, you can actually buy them from Volkswagen factory in Germany still, and these are brand spanking new, only replaced I think a year ago, and you can see you haven't warped or gone out of shape. Coming around to the rear bumper, needs a little bit of love here, but nothing terrible. And the lights, even though they're smoked, that is exactly how it came from the factory. And the tailgate, just going back to what we mentioned earlier, I mean, you can get a cap on here for the rear washer squirter. However, it is so much fun doing the rear washer, and this just squirts out and squirts people. It's brilliant. Wait, do it again. You've got the rust in the bottom of the rear windscreen just here. Again, I've sealed that. Hasn't really caused me too many issues over the years. It doesn't leak. But again, if you're wanting the thing to be a show car and immaculate, then you would need to get that all fixed up. The rear plastic on the bumper, it's got a few little scuffs and scratches. None of them done by me, amazingly. They were like that when it came, when I bought it 5 years ago, bloody hell. Rear bumper, there's some bit of light damage. And then we go down the whole of the driver's side. So driver's side, on this rear quarter, there is a little pin dent just here. Don't know if you can see that. Very difficult to get repaired. I've tried to get it repaired before, but there's actually a clip on the inside and you have to get behind the clip to pop it out. Bit tricky. Please feel free and have a little challenge. Going back up onto the roof again, there are some deeper scratches here, but I've had this flattened down, polished, and I did get a ceramic coating applied too, just to keep that protected. And you can see that no dirt has actually sat back into that over my last couple of years of driving. Carrying on down the driver's side, the rear quarter is lovely. And then inside the fuel cap, there is a little bit of rust. The edge does sit out ever so slightly, but there's a repair panel that you can get that goes in here, and that will replace the rust on the inside. VR6 trims on the rears, on the rear quarters are all fine. Some slight chipping that was around the outside of the driver's door. As you can see, I've touched that up to keep it protected. And also this was all flaked to absolute hell. I actually got this all fully repainted recently to ensure that it was looking nice and fresh and clean and wasn't causing any further rust on the door. Driver's door is all looking lovely and clean. The trim is brand new on the door as well because it actually fell off. And then we go to the front driver's side quarter, little bit of a scratch here, but again, the rest of it is all nice and clean. So for the money that you're paying, it is a very whole car. It's a car you can jump in and drive and enjoy, and it still looks great. And people enjoy that patina. It's 33 years old, for Christ's sake. What were you expecting?
Time to drive, baby.
The starting process for your Mk3 Golf VR6. Pin in. Key with very nice VR6 keyring. In. So there we have it. What more could you want in a car this age for this price? It is the ideal day-to-day driving car. It's a head turner. It's fun to drive. It looks great on the road. You don't need much more. I have put my heart and soul into making this car what it is today. Don't get me wrong, there are still some things that I wish I could do to it, but it is time to say goodbye. My family is growing, things are changing, and this needs to go to someone who can appreciate it more than I can. It went from someone who wanted to build their family, and now it's going from someone who is building their family now as well. So it's not that I don't want it. I want to keep it if I could, but it's time someone else puts their spin on it. Hopefully not spin as in spin out into a tree, but that is all the information you should need to help you take that next step into having a car that could be quite a good future classic as well.